Hey guys, how's it going? I'm more Fatty. I'm gonna do my league versus league draft today. Pretty exciting. We're playing a top 100 league, so this should be a pretty, competitive and fun matchup. I do have one guy here that I'm matched up with pretty well, so it also should be a good match, and I'm expecting him to have a pretty good game plan. So I'm gonna be a little unconventional in my play calling, in my goal of scoring 24. So we're gonna go ahead and scout his team real quick. All right, so you can see here he's a 98 overall, 97 offense, 100 defense. His play calling tendencies, he's definitely pass heavy, doesn't run much. So expect him to have some of the better plays countered. Likely has some of these bunch Z plays countered. So his middle linebacker, really good coverage stats, really good speed. Barr, he's fast, but his coverage stats aren't the best on that side of the ball. And same thing with Kendrick's, fast, but coverage stats aren't the greatest. Okay, so his defensive ends are fast, 94 speed. Sometimes it's tough to deal with fast defensive ends, so we got to keep that in mind. Both of his defensive ends are 94 speeds. What about his defensive tackles? All right, his first defensive tackle is pretty slow. His second defensive tackle is pretty fast. Pretty good cornerbacks. Let's see his safeties here. Good safeties. Yeah, so this should be a pretty good matchup. He's got a pretty good defense. Yeah, I mean, his second middle linebacker's solid too. So, but the Packers should be a 4-3 most of the time. I have played them. I played them recently, and they did line up in 3-4 too. So they do. It seems to me that every defense this year is lining up in both formations, pretty commonly. So it'll be interesting to see how often he's 3-4 against 4-3 here. But I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be a 4-3 defense. Most teams in the game are 4-3s. I think there's only 4 teams at this point that are supposed to be 3-4s. But no matter if it's a 4-3 or a 3-4, defenses are still lining up in the combination of both, it seems to me, since I've been watching. I'm just going to turn my brightness up a little bit here. Okay, so first down from the left hash. I do still want to test, just in case I get into some third and long, fourth and long situations. I need to have a couple plays at least in my back pocket. So let's go ahead and flip post corners. I've been flipping post corners a lot more recently, and it makes the seam route to the slot and the route to the wide receiver 1 a lot better. In my opinion, the tight end route is worse. I like the tight end route better when it's unflipped. So I'm going to be looking here to the slot and wide receiver 1, which would be Moss and Crabtree. He doesn't have this play counter. The counter formation for post corners is a nickel. So we should be able to pick up some yardage here. And the way I'm going to use this play is, if it's zone, I'm going to get it up to Moss. The good thing about the seam route being on the right side is the free safety over here usually gives less help. So with the seam route, for the seam route to be optimal, I don't want the free safety to be coming over and helping. I really only want to be Moss against the strong safety, and that way I can get him to face catch it. The problem is sometimes when this play is unflipped, if you throw it to the slot even in zone, the strong safety will come over and help. And you don't want two safeties, helping. So hopefully Amos tries to go over towards Adams. And if it's zone coverage, I should be able to get it to Moss pretty easy. And then the other thing about this play is sometimes when it's zone, wide receiver 1 is just wide open depending on the type of zone that the defense is playing. So there's that option as well. So zone, I have Moss and Crabtree, both options to the right side depending on what type of zone. And then if it's man, the best option here is still going to be Gronk. but we just have to pay attention to the defense. We should note here that he has Kendricks pressed up against the line of scrimmage. It's possible he's going to blitz, and if it's a first down, I'm expecting at least one of these 3 linebackers to blitz. So meaning I'm going to have probably less time. Hopefully my line can pick up the blitzer, but if he does bring 2 or more blitzers, we do need to just try and scramble away and get rid of the ball. The one disadvantage to post corners is there's no hot route. So if he blitzes, I have to be really quick and decide. Gronk is the only route that I can probably try to throw it to, or I'm just gonna have to scramble. And if the blitz comes from the right side, if Kendricks blitzes, I really just have to scramble out to the left. And that's about my only option. So if Kendricks blitzes, I'm gonna have to. So Falk does stay in the block on this play. The one good thing about this play is the running back stays in the block. So if Kendricks blitzes, hopefully Falk can pick him up, and I can still try to roll right. But if Falk can't pick him up, I'm gonna have to scramble to the left. We're gonna have to read the linebackers here and see how many of them are blitzing, how many of them aren't, and then also obviously read the coverage. So like I said, zone coverage, as long as I have some time on the right side, Moss or Crabtree is gonna be open. Man, I'm gonna be looking for Gronk. Okay, so he doesn't blitz. Yeah, so he only rushed 4. I still got no time to throw the ball, which is unfortunate. I'll have to go back and review that play. Pretty sure I didn't manipulate the line as much as I should have. I didn't manipulate the pass rush. So, okay, so we are 2nd and 10 here. I'm going to go with trips, tight end play action, deep attack. Counter formation for this is dime. Get it to Moss. Good. Yeah, so most of the time Crabtree's open underneath there, but this time he wasn't. We do need to realize here that I just used my scramble, so there's that. Now, the good thing here is that we do have post corners tested for. We know that he doesn't have that countered. The next play I'm going to test for is spread slot flags. The counter formation for this play is dime, so it's possible this is countered. But if this play is countered, as long as it's not critical, I can get it to Falk for at least some type of yardage. I can either get it to Falk or Adams. Yeah, so the coverage is 2-man under. So it's like man coverage. The counter play is 2-man under. So if it is countered, it's pretty much man coverage, and actually I'm not 100% on that. I think it's man coverage and the safety's over the top, but I know that if it is countered, Falk's usually open enough out of the backfield. So there's that. And if it's not countered, I'm just going to read the coverage and go to Moss or Adams. So the reason why I like this play so much is because I can just read the left side of the field if it's not countered, and if it's zone, I can get it to Moss, and if it's man, Adams is usually open on that route to the left. So it doesn't look like it's countered, but I need to get it out. Jeez, my hands are all... It was countered, okay, but it was medium, so... Yeah, so if it is hard countered and it's not critical, you can usually get it to wide receiver 2 or the halfback out of the backfield, which I was able to do there. I was able to get it to wide receiver 2. It's good because we know he has this play countered. So let's see here. I'm going to test for another play. We're going to test for halfback option here. All right, so we know he doesn't have halfback option countered because counter formation for halfback option is either a dime or nickel. It's definitely not a 4-3. It is nickel. So yeah, he's lining up here in a 4-3, so he obviously doesn't have it countered. He's probably blitzing. There's no other reason why this linebacker would come up on the line of scrimmage. Also, note the free safety did come down to play man here, so that makes it even more likely that it's a blitz. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide a little bit to the left and then scramble out to the right side away from the blitz. And if it's a blitz, it should be man, most of the time man, meaning I'm going to be looking to hit Falk. And if it's zone, I'm going to be looking to hit Gronk. So it's going to either Falk or Gronk. It looks like a blitz coming from the left side. I'm going to quickly slide to my left and then try and scramble out to the right side. Okay, he's blitzing a lot of people. Yeah, I just had to get rid of it. Um, so that's unfortunate. He pretty much brought the house there. I had no time. That's the one drawback of halfback options. There's no real good hot route to get the ball off if you really need to get rid of it. But the positive note here is we know that we have post corners and halfback option in our back pockets. Now it's also possible that he's live countering, so we're just gonna have to I guess we're just gonna have to test every drive here. But it is good to know that that play's open. So I'm gonna assume he probably has at least one of the two bunch plays countered. And I'm going to have to be a little bit more or less conventional here with my play calling. So I'm actually going to go with trips tight end wide receiver corner. And I think the counter formation is nickel for this. Yeah, it is nickel for this, but the good thing here is that it's a very beatable counterplay. 9 Velcro is just a deep, not what 9 Velcro is 9 people drop into coverage. So they usually don't get a pass rush, and it's probably the easiest counterplay to break as long as it's not a critical counter. So that's the other benefit. So we'll see here. If it's a high snapper, if I get locked up, I know it's countered. It's interesting though because this guy's sliding in, so that makes me think it's man coverage and it's probably not going to be countered. But if it is countered, I can usually get it to Falk in the middle of the field, or I can try to scramble. And if it's not countered, then I usually roll to the right and hit Gronk. He's more open if it's man. If it's zone, sometimes he's not. But the read here is I'm either going to Falk or Gronk, and I'm going to try and roll to the right. It is countered, but we have plenty of time to throw the ball, and Gronk's actually open anyways. You get the feed in? Okay, he got the feed in, so okay, and it was a soft counter, so that's good. That's at least good that we know that we can, as long as he's not live countering, we can potentially use that play again. So 3rd and 5 here. Let's see. He did have spread slot flags countered, so one of the combos with spread slot flags is empty trip shallow cross, which I would normally consider calling here. But I'm not going to call that right now on 3rd down because there's a chance that play is countered. I'm trying to think. So we have spread slot flags countered. I'm actually going to look real quick at counter combos. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I could, because I need to... when spread slot flags is countered, there's a couple combos with it that I really don't want to call on this 3rd down. So I guess I will do that real quick. Normally I wouldn't get this granular with my play calling, but this is a top 100 league and this guy has a really good team and a pretty solid game plan. So any little advantage I can gain is ideal. So knowing that he has spread slot flags countered, I just want to look up all the combos for spread slot flags and not call any of them on third down, because I'm thinking about calling motion cross here, but I'm not 100% if that's an actual combo with spread slot flags or not. It's either a combo with smash or spread slot flags. I'm not 100%, so that's what I'm trying to double check here. Okay, so yeah, actually one of the combos with spread slot flags is motion cross. So that's good to know. Now, the other play I'm thinking about calling here is fullback middle. So I'm just going to double check that too. See, strong eye, fullback middle. And I'm also tempted to call it run here. But I'm not going to do that, but since I've tested so many plays, my next first down I am going to call a run play. And I'm going to go with fullback middle here. Even if it's countered, you can usually get it off. So there's that as well. And the counter for fullback middle is 4-3. So that's what we're going to go with here. Okay, so he is in a 4-3. Um, 4-3 cover 4. So cover 4 is a zone where a lot of guys drop into coverage. Cover 4 would be the two cornerbacks and the two safeties dropping deep. And then the linebackers would also be playing zone. So, yeah, I mean, as long as it's not a critical counter, I should still be able to complete the pass to the right side. And I don't even think it's countered at all. And Gronk's going to be open there. See if that was countered. Okay, it wasn't countered, so that's good information that we have there. Now, what do I want to go with? Let's go with the run. I'm going to go with the run here. I'm going to flip weak eye double counter. Unfortunate, the counter formation for this is 3-4, so he could have this countered. But his defense looks kind of slow to react. It wasn't a critical counter if it was countered, so at least I got some yardage. And let's see if it was. So a lot of the time it doesn't show whether or not it's countered. It's kind of annoying, but okay, it wasn't countered. So that's good to know as well. So I'm tempted to call another run play here, but I'm not going to because I want to call trips tight end halfback counter, but that's a play that I should test for in first down first. So I'm going to go with play action deep attack again. And I just ran it to the left, so it should be fine. Counter formation's dime. If it's countered, you know, there's not much you can do. Doesn't look like it's countered. That was a bad idea. I tried to get it over that guy's head. So I tried to lob it up, but I should have just scrambled, actually. It's what I should have done. Had the first down. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go with halfback option here. Okay, so he's lining up in a dime. We know it's not countered. The counter is a nickel for this. Let's just double check and make sure. Pretty sure it's nickel. Yep, it's nickel, so this isn't countered. It's a very easy read. If it's man, it's going to Falk. If it's zone, it's going to Gronk. And I just need to read the coverage and also read the linebackers and make sure that there's no blitz here. Okay, so it's man coverage. Falk's going to be wide open. All right, that's exactly what we wanted there. Let's see. I'm going to go with bunch halfback dive. Inside the 10, the defense always lines up in a dime. Okay, and we can also see if he has that counter. So that's another reason why I called it. So we'll check after. Let's just get our 8 points here. So counter for toss is a 3-4. So what I do here pre-snap is I wait for a middle linebacker 1, which is this guy here, to come down to the line of scrimmage before I snap the ball. Gives you a little bit of a better chance to get in the end zone, and I'm just going to try and take it to the pylon and hope I can get there. Okay, I'm able to get there. So that was a pretty solid drive. We were able to test for a lot of plays. Now, the one drawback with that is that it was a long, kind of drawn-out drive, so he's had plenty of time here to live counter if that's what he's actually planning on doing. So I will test again. I'm just going to assume that he's live countering until proven otherwise. If I can find him, the sooner I can play him again, the better. There we go. Just get those drives started. So okay. So yeah, I mean, I should probably not really deviate much from my play calling of the first drive because I should assume that he's going to be live countering. So I think the best way to attack this is to call a play last drive that I know wasn't countered. That worked pretty well. Yeah, I'm going to call halfback option. Actually, no. It depends on what hash I'm from. I'm going to either call halfback option or post corner as the first play. Yeah, I'm going to call halfback option here. This will tell us whether or not he's live countering. Okay, so he probably is live countering because this is a counter formation. Now, the advantage to halfback option is even when it's countered, like I said, this counterplay 9 Velcro is probably the most broken counterplay in the game, because the defense, what they do is they drop 9 people into coverage, and they only rush 3. Or actually, no, they only rush 2. Yeah, that's what 9 Velcro is. They're dropping 9 into coverage, only rushing 2. And it's zone coverage, so there's all types of holes. Now, the biggest hole in this zone coverage, if it's countered, is Gronk up top. And then Falk in the middle, there's also a little hole there. So, but I'm going to try and get it up to Gronk just because he's the most open if it is countered. And this is also going to tell us whether or not he's live countering. Okay, yeah, I mean, I doubt he's live countering because both of these guys are pressing the line. They're going to blitz. But that's actually very good information for us because okay, I'm trying to think here. It's possible that they both drop into coverage too. So let's read these linebackers. It is giving us some information that they're pressing the line of scrimmage. Usually that's a blitz, but I've seen under some cases they'll drop into coverage, even if they press a line like that. So let's read them. If they blitz, I'm going to roll right. If they drop into zone, it's possible that it's countered. But if it is countered, I'm going to be locked up, so I'll know right away as well. So I'm going to go ahead and snap the ball. And as always, my read on this play is if it's zone coverage, I'm going to get it to Gronk, and if it's man coverage, I'm getting it to Falk. Okay, it's actually critical countered. Okay, well, that's good information for us because that's telling us that he is live countering because he did not have that hard counter last drive. So now it's just kind of a process of figuring out which plays he replaced. And yeah, I'm trying to think. So I'm not going to call post corners. Maybe he took out. So it's like a known, just like an unknown known. I guess you could say that everyone has in their game plan the counters for play action tight end corner and play action fullback flat. Just because of how good they were last year. So he could have switched those out of his game plan. And it's not a bad idea to test for those. I don't want to test for them now on 2nd and 15. But that's something for us to consider. Now, 2nd and 15. I'm going to call motion cross. As long as it's not critically countered, motion cross also has broken coverage pre-snap. I mean, if it is countered, it's broken. I would consider it broken. It's got that same play, 9 Velcro. So let's see if he has this countered here. Doesn't look like he has it countered. Barely got it over that guy's head. But we did get it over his head, so let's see if he has this countered. That is, yeah, he does have it countered. But you'd see, like, halfback option and motion cross. If they're not critically countered, it's really, really easy to break those counters and get it through the defense because they drop 9 into coverage and there's just so many holes in zone, even if they drop 9. Okay, so he probably has a combo for motion cross and spread slot flag still in his game plan. That's what I'm going to kind of assume here. And I'm trying to think, what other plays can I call? You know what? I'm going to call empty trip shallow cross. Um, just because now that I know he has motion cross countered, that makes it more likely that the combo he has with spread slot flags is motion cross and spread slot flags. Now I'm also assuming that he left that in his game plan and didn't change it out. But what I should do here is I should also look up combo counters for motion cross. And I should look them up for motion cross and halfback option, actually. Yeah, there's just a lot of motion cross combos. One of the combos is empty shallow cross, and motion cross. But also one of the other counters for it is weak eye double counter motion cross and spread slot flags motion cross. So let's see here if he. Nah, actually, I'm not gonna call empty trip shallow cross here. So I'm from the right hash. I'm going to go ahead and call it halfback angle. Okay, this is good. We know this play isn't countered here for this drive at least. And the read here is I'm going to get it to Moss if it's zone coverage or Gronk. And if it's man, I'm going to be looking to get it to either Crabtree or Falk. Okay, it looks like it's man. Oh. Yeah, that was not what we wanted there. Crabtree was open, but I got it a little bit late to him. Let's see here. I need a play on this second down. All right, I'm going to go with strong eye play action slide. Okay. This might be countered. It's not. Had to get it away. Actually, was that countered? Because the counter is 3-4 for that, but I doubt it was countered. No, it wasn't. Okay. I'm going to go with bunch flanker drive. Counter formation for this is dime. Let's see. I don't think that was countered, so that's good. Yeah, that wasn't countered. All right, so that's good information there. I'm going to test for a double hitch on this first down. It's a very, very uncommonly countered play. Okay, good. He doesn't have it. Counter formation for it is, I believe, dime. It's either dime or nickel. It's nickel, so he doesn't have this countered. Going to try and get it up to Gronk if it's zone coverage, and if it's man, I'll either get it to Crabtree or a scramble. It was zone coverage, but I didn't like... Gronk didn't really look that open, so I just threw it in there to Crabtree. But we know he doesn't have that countered, so that's good. I'm going to test for... what do I want to go with here? Let's see if he has... Let's see if he has trips tight end halfback counter. Okay, that's beautiful. He doesn't have that countered. This is probably the best run play to call on second down in the game. And we know it's not countered because he's in a dime. And the counter formation is nickel. And we get no blocking anyways, which is pretty unfortunate. Ah, man, that's frustrating. Okay, so we're going to have to go with halfback angle here. And I'm going to flip it this time. Counter formation for this is nickel. So even though we know he doesn't have it hard counted, this could be a soft counter. And it is a soft counter. Ah, that's unfortunate. There's nothing really I can do there. Trying to think. I'm not going to call post corners because he probably has that countered at this point. I mean, it's either gamble on a play like wide receiver whale, trips deep attack, Alright, so I'm going to go with trips tight end slot attack. I'm going to flip it. Hope he doesn't have it countered. Counter is a dime, so he might have it countered. But even though I tested a lot, I still got into a bad situation on 4th and long. Yeah, it's his own blitz, so he might have this countered. Alright, so I'm just going to have to throw it up if it's countered, and if it's not, I'm looking to either Moss or Adams. Moss is wide open. Get it! Yes! I think he countered that too. Did I say Moss? I meant Falk. Falk was wide open. Wow. That is huge right there. Alright, let's see if we can put up another score. I'm going to go with play action slide. Flipped. Gurley drops it. Wasn't really open. Okay. I'm going to call trips tight end halfback counter again and hope it works better this time. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to call double hitch, but I'm actually going to flip it this time too. Yes. Nice run there. Beautiful. Okay. What do I want to go with here? First and goal. I'm going to flip bunch flanker drive. And roll to my right. Now I know if I don't flip it, the halfback's usually wide open. But it depends on the coverage. I would rather